G'day YouTube, welcome back to my channel and another video. As I mentioned in previous videos, I'm working on a client's trees, and this is his last tree that I'm working on. As you can see, it's quite a decent size Juniper procumbens or Juniper prostrata. Very nice tree, very old, quite a nice big fat sized trunk. You can see my hand. It's got some nice shari and bit of shari up the trunk as well. But you probably can see it's very heavy and full of foliage, big huge clouds of foliage, which isn't too bad. It's actually quite nice. But one thing you do when you're looking closely, you'll see when I start pulling this away, you'll see all the dead needles inside, or dead foliage inside, which, you know, that happens when you have such a full big canopy of foliage here. A lot of tufts of foliage. At the back it got a little bit burnt in summer, as the owner was telling me. It got dried out a little bit, so it's a bit burnt at the back, but I think that will recover. We've got to remove that and get it back to healthy foliage. And probably put a bit more shari work in there, in that bit at the top here, just because this is very plain and there's nothing there. It's very straight, so we want to maybe put some shari up the trunk, continue that up a little bit. It had some wire on it, so I had to remove all the wire because it was starting to cut in as well. Yeah, just looking at this tree, this is probably the feature of the tree, this nice big huge heavy first branch. I really like it. It's got a nice gin over this side. Then everything else needs to be pretty much thinned out and wide, wide, nice and neat, nice and clean lines, clean underneath, making sure we have different pads and levels all the way through the tree. Contemplating what we do up the front, there's this big kind of twisty, interesting apex that was trying to bend to make an apex, which it doesn't look 100% the best, but if we can bend the foliage and cover that area, it might suit the purpose. So a very big project to do. This is actually going to take me quite a few hours to do, but I'm looking forward to it. There'll be quite a bit of work, but very cool. So probably the first thing I do, because I'm going to do a lot of work on this tree, I'll cover the base with a towel just so I don't make a mess, which is likely to happen. I might do the shari work up the trunk, just continue this line and make it a bit bigger, just because it adds a bit more interest, especially up here because it's a bit bland. But yeah, I just want to continue the shari work a little bit here. Then I'm going to clean out all the dead needles, dead branches, dead foliage first. Look at branches that are weak or damaged or too much, or have just tufts of foliage at the end, and start removing that as well. And once we do that, then it's pretty much a wiring process. You know, I don't want to remove any branches pretty much. A lot of the branches are pretty much there. They're quite old and quite heavy and quite nice. So yeah, and it's just styling it up. So just see a nice, you know, clean lines, clean pads, clean this, about the same. Probably the same shape, just a bit more refined, really detailed and refined. But it'll be a nice tree. It should come up really good, but it'll be many hours of work to get it there. But nice, interesting work to do. So stay tuned, and I'll do a step-by-step process and show you along those steps of the way and what I do. So once I do a bit of work, I'll come back and show you what I've done. Okay guys, check in later. Alright everyone, so just a quick update. I haven't done really that much work. I've just tidied up some of the shari, made it a little bit wider at the base, at the top there. Looking at the base, it looks really nice. I don't want to do too much more, just to give a nice little bit. What I've done is gone in there and cleaned up all the dead foliage, and anything that's really long and has only a bit of foliage at the end. It doesn't look like I've done anything, but at the back, remember it was browned off, that's all been removed. So that's all right. So I've cleaned up as much as I can. I went through it also, removing any of the tufts that grow in between. So anytime there's there's little ones that grow in there, taking those out. Taking out things that are really long and there's no foliage and just a little bit of foliage at the end, taking that off. So I've just gone through it. Now I'm kind of studying what we're going to do with it. Now these branches, they kind of look droopy. Because it's so heavy with foliage, they're kind of drooping. I want to try and get a bit more structure, I think, to it. So what I mean by that is actually just trying to get a clean line and lifting some of these back up, like the tips back up, just to give you that more structured look. That's what I'm thinking I might do with this tree. Well, that's what I want to do. Give it a bit more structure and balance. Like if you think about it this side, this looks so droopy, but if I do that, it gives you nice clean lines. I know it's full of foliage and that has to be worked on, but just imagine nice cleaner lines. It should be reduced, I think, as much as we can. Try and reduce things, make it a bit more compact, thin this out. Yeah, trying to make it more streamlined. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out the word to use here, but very, very structured and clean lines and padded out. Yeah, so that's and it just looks so heavy in foliage. So we need to, as I said, do clean lines underneath. Bring these up a little bit, and if you notice straight away, if we do that, there's so much more structure to the tree. Thinned it out and put layers everywhere. So that's what I'm going to start on. I am going to start on this big heavy branch first. It's the lowest and main branch, so we always start with this one. And once we set this branch, then we just slowly work our way around the tree. So I might go to this one, then the one at the back, and then this one, and then work my way up to the top of the tree. And I'll show you along the way the progress and how it looks. Okay, be back soon. Alright, quick update. I have just finally finished wiring this entire long first branch. I'll just show you, try and spin it around and show you the work. It was just about trying to get clean lines and pads and different lines, so you can kind of see all the clean lines. This is now the back over here. This is in the side bit over around here, and then this is the main branch, the first branch, all layered out. You can see a big layer down the bottom, then another one up this side, another one all the way around. Trying to get different angles and spots in there. But yeah, I hope you can see the first lot of work. Quite a bit of wire on that branch. That's to be expected. There needs to be a lot of work done. So hope you guys can see that effort. Pretty much uniform all around the tree. I'll go and tweak little things here and there. And now I'll move up to this next branch up here. It's the next one in my thing, and I've got to get it in the right spots, everything in the right spots. But yeah, first branch done, and move on to the second branch. So take it branch by branch. Now this branch is quite a big one, and it actually originates from up here, and it's all wired down into here. So I want to keep going with that direction and flow. I think I've zoomed in too close, so hang on, I'm going to zoom out. Yeah, I'll zoom out there. This branch is actually starts all the way up here and then layers into all this section over here. So it'll be a matter of just kind of following that contour, layering it out, and have another layer. You know, similar to this kind of layering. I'll have it in here, and then I'll move around to the back and to the front, and then we'll start to finish off the tree. But the hardest work is probably the first couple of branches. That big one, first one sets the position of everything else. So now there's another lot of work in this one, and then back branch, side branch, and then we should be very close to finishing off the tree. But it's quite a bit of work, quite a bit of effort, but it's worthwhile, the result. So first step done. Okay, the next step is completed with this section here wired out. So these, you can see, hopefully see the layers created, much more nicely spaced out. And there was a back branch in here that's also been wired and layered and positioned. Might tweak the positions a little bit later on once we start to wire everything else out. So this section's kind of completed, all nicely wired out. I do have to do a bit of underneath plucking still, just on a couple of these, but that's final touches. Now I think I'm going to move on to maybe this back branch, and then this branch here, these two I might do next, and then a very important, this branch in here is the one after that. So now I've done the least, so the left side of the tree, which way you guys are looking at, this main left side. I left the apex, we're going to deal with that. But now I'm going to do the right side and try and balance that out, and then we know how the apex will look and where it needs to sit with that. So I might do these two branches first, and I'll touch base with you, show you what it looks like, and then I'll do this main branch here, and then we'll do the apex. Okay, so hopefully you're following the process of how I'm going about it. This is just what I do. I mean, start from the bottom up, create all your pads, thin out a lot of the tree. There's been a lot of foliage gone, as you can see, but there was just overly too much foliage. Now it's thinned out, but it looks actually quite a decent amount of foliage still left, even though it's thinned out quite a bit. So hope you can see that, and we'll keep working on the tree. All right, so a bit more work has been done. You can see that this branch here now is fully wired. Now what I decided to do is actually I wired this branch first, and then I did the back, then I did this branch in here. So in my previous little snapper video, I said I was going to do the back and then I'd do the front. So I really had to get the front right, and get this in line and in shape. And then I was able to finish off with this back branch in here. Hopefully you guys can see that. Again, same process, layering. You know, it's actually, it's hard to show you, but you can see the different. So even this line, you can see should be going in a nice cascading kind of look. You know, shorter, a bit longer, a bit longer. So hopefully that's come up really nicely. I'm not 100% sure just yet. Probably got to tweak it a bit more. All the back's been done, all this has been done. Now the hard bit, pretty much the apex. So apex is always very, very difficult. Main thing is there's this very long branch here that's all twisted all the way into the back to give me some depth at the back, because there's nothing in the back over here. So it looks like this branch was twisted to put it in there, which is okay. It's not too bad, but I need to actually try and fill up a gap in here. So either I'm going to be bringing this down and then around, or playing around with this. Maybe I can do something with this a bit further, bring this whole thing down, see, something like that with a guy wire. Possibly that's the best option for now. Bring that right down and then twist this around. So, you know, I've got to figure out, and it's got to be thinned out quite a bit. So I do want to kind of get a nice layering effect in here, and then bring the apex just a little bit down. I really probably couldn't bring it down too far. Bring it a bit more down, but look at this big heavy foliage, it's got to be reduced. So pretty much I've only got this part, so pretty much that's all I've got left to do. It doesn't look like much, but it's a very tricky piece, I think, to do. And I haven't really thinned it out, haven't really gotten rid of any branches, because a lot of these are nicely positioned. They're going to come around and fill in here to kind of give me that effect in here, the same kind of all the way through. So I hope that makes sense, and I'll see if my plan comes together. But yeah, lots of hours of work in this. It's going to come up really nice, I think. It's going to be a very, very nice tree. Just got to go back probably through it again, pluck a little bit underneath, things like that, clean up the wire, clean up the tips, make sure they're all nice and cut off and clean. And then the tree will sit there and be ready for pickup from the owner. Yeah, looking forward to seeing the final result now. So I might try and show you some structural stuff when I'm done, and then I'll show you the finished tree in soon after that. Okay, so really hard to tell, but I was able to put some heavy gauge wire on this apex part, and I had a guy wire to pull down this tree. I actually brought the trunk forward and then turned it back around itself. So now it's just a matter of thinning all this out and putting it all into place, wiring it all up. So maybe an hour or two to do all that work, and then it'll be done, and I'll show you the finished product. Hopefully see you soon. Okay everyone, so I have finally completed all the main work, or majority of the work on this tree. What's left is just to clean up and look at it again tomorrow, just with fresh eyes, and work out if I need to do anything else with it, clean up all the wire, all the little wire that sticks out. But I'm super happy with the tree. You can, if you go back and have a look at the previous before shots, you'll see the difference, the big huge pads. You can't see any definition. Now you see a totally different tree, much more refined, much more clean lines. You can see the feature of the gin now. I mean, the shari and the gin's a bit better. You see the foliage and the pads much more uniform, much more interesting. You know, it's quite a nice, it tells a better story than before, I think. You know, so I really like this tree. I really do. I wish it was mine. But as I said earlier, it's for a client of mine. I hope he's really enjoying the video of me working on his tree. It's really phenomenal tree to work on. Wish it was in my collection. It'll probably be the only Procumbens, or one of the only ones that I've got in my collection, because it's that good. You know, the big twisting trunks, interesting. You try and work out, you know, I wanted to try and hide this bit in here because it was a bit straight. And I have done a better job of it, but I still need a little bit more. I think you need a bit more growth in here. Maybe this branch can be lowered a little bit just to fill in that gap in there, but in time this will fill out and block a little bit of that straightness. That's probably the only I think negative of this tree. Otherwise it's really nice, twisted up Juniper. I don't know, it's really positive. I'm really happy with the work I've done on it. Really happy with the results come out. I wish I had more trees like this to work on, but you know, it was pretty much very much a privilege to work on a tree like this. I really enjoyed it. I'll just go around now, as I said, and tweak a few branches. Like I can see a couple of branches now just needing to be turned around. I think this needs to be going this way a bit more. You know, I'll slowly tweak things like that into place. So you see, you just notice these things as with fresh eyes. Yeah, I think that needs to come around a bit more. It's only subtle changes. You just play around, tweak it, you know, tweak bits. You see the bits of wire sticking out, just got to go clean them up. But that's the finished product, pretty much. If I make any more changes, I'll do another video, but other than that, that's pretty much it for this one. Hope you enjoyed the process and how I went about styling it, working my way from the low branch, the main low branch, all the way around the tree, and finishing off with the top in the end. So, and that worked out to my plan and what my vision was, so it's really good, a really positive story. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed that. If you're not following my channel, please do so, and click the little subscribe button as well, and there's a little bell icon. If you click that, it'll be awesome because you get notified of new videos that I put up. But other than that, signing off with this beautiful Juniper. Very happy with it. See you guys next time.